데이터를 쌓아야 합니다. 어떻게 했을 때 가장 높은 수익이 나오는지. 만약에
관건이죠. 네. 관건이죠. 네.
근데 챗GPT는 워낙 비싸.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to represent Must Company and myself as well. Today's topic is like a technical topic that we expect in our career when we go beyond the basic levels, like our first years, when we are going beyond our mid level, especially in the front end engineering. Then this topic comes like how big tech sales scales front end architecture with microfrontends. So basically, this is going to be an architectural problem. We are going to look into this situation, how companies are like doing this thing. The first thing is that I would like to apologize my audience that I couldn't sell something that includes AI. So because these days all of the seminars are like just AI buzzwords, so viral things. So if you sell something in AI, it's like just a viral. So that is again, I would like to apologize, apologize for that one, but we have a very interesting problem and an architectural problem. We would like to see how big companies do their front end on a big scale. Like, for example, Netflix, for example, Amazon, for example, uh, Spotify. We have Uber, how they are going front end, thousands of members of teams on their front end side. So I believe up till now, you guys have worked with all of the like company members, like in your team, for example, 30 members, 10 members, 20 members. But let's suppose if there is a fan man company, like for example, that has 1,000 members on the front end, how they are dealing with their application and how they are dividing the things on their end and how it is like manageable on their end. That is the problem that we are going to like look today, how they are managing like 1,000 members or many members of their one application. For example, if you think about Facebook, Facebook is not just a simple application, it's a big application. Obviously, it has many pages, many features, many things, and also a big team as well. Like we can't say like Facebook is made the way that it is right now today, and with the members that it was like just two, three, four, five, 10 members. Facebook team would obviously be containing thousand of members, and then we should like think about this question like how they are managing that kind of like people in their team for just one application, and that is called Facebook. Same goes for the Netflix, same goes for Uber, same goes for Amazon, same goes for other companies as well. When we deal or we talk about that kind of question, then this topic comes and which is called micro frontends. So yeah. So when we talk about scaling our applications on the backend side, we must have heard about the microservices. So microservices is one of the thing like is kind of a buzzword as well. Like you will hear in the industry like microservices. Oh, we are working on a microservices architecture, MSA. So we are overselling that MSA on the back end. But if you go on to the front end side, we also have the same thing. Like we also have the micro front end as a topic, which is kind of a similar with microservices, but also is like have a different perspective as well. So let's jump over on our presentation and start this topic today, and let's discover together how we can talk about this topic, and like then we will deal with the code as well. I hope that we can understand both. But yeah, let's see. Okay. Okay, I've shared the screen on the gather. Let me start here. Okay, so our topic today is understanding micro frontends. So basically, if we talk about micro frontends, we hear of two things like micro and frontends. So yeah, it is just like of two words, micro and front end. So micro means small and front end means our front end applications, obviously. Just like microservices. Micro means small and services means each individual service which does their own job. So micro frontends is also like a similar problem according to microservices. So let's understand the micro frontends, exploring architecture and implementation. Myself is Irfan Ali. I'm a full stack engineer at Musk Company. Okay, understanding micro frontends and exploring the concept of and benefits of micro frontends in web development, especially. Okay, so when we talk about micro frontends, the first few things that come in our mind and come in in our topic, those three things are here, which are very basic and the like I would say the powerful features of the micro frontends enhance team autonomy. So what that means? That means is that when you work on a micro frontend application, what happens is that you divide a full frontend into small um, like a small features or a small like applications. So each team can work on their micro frontend independently, leading to faster development cycles and improved collaboration. So what that means is that when you break a small application, big application into multiple small applications, what happens is that you divide your team into a small teams that handles like um, a small application part. So what happens is that, for example, if we break a page into multiple small applications, so a team A can work on a small part of the application, a team two can work on that one, a team three can work on other part. So that is called autonomy. So what happens is that, for example, if we consider our example again for the Facebook, so what Facebook might have been doing is that it is having multiple teams and each team like divided team is working on multiple features. For example, they will be having their own individual micro front and they will be working on that one, deploying that one, developing that one, and managing that one independently. So the next thing is that independent deployment. Again, micro frontends can be deployed separately without affecting other parts of the application, increasing flexibility. Same kind of scenario when we deal with microservices. So in microservices, when we break a big application into small, we can manage each individually and we can deploy it individually and we can manage it individually, develop it individually. So same is the case for the micro frontends as well. And one more thing is that that is again the similar thing according to like microservices, and that is technology agnosticism. Agnosticism. So what that means is that you have heard up till now all of the applications that are like uh, one I would say one platform or one framework. Like for example, you will like be hearing that following company is working with React, following company is working with Angular, following company is working with for example Vue.js. So you will just hear that they are having like just one application stack, for example React, for example Next.js, for example Vue.js. But micro frontend gives you the ability to like work with the platform agnosticism. Like what that means is you can connect multiple stack applications just into one application. For example, in today's example, we are going to see how I achieved this through the micro frontend and how I connected Angular application, Svelte application, and Vue application and React application together in just one frame and one web page. So this is just to show the like power of micro frontends, because like you can say that micro frontend is not like platform or framework agnostic. Like it you can utilize multiple frameworks and group together and use it under a one page. So some pros and cons of micro frontends. So if we start this one, first of all, it comes with the scalability. So when you break a big application into small, so you can scale each individual part, each individual part according to the use. Teams can scale independently based on their needs, allowing for optimized resource allocation and management. So let's say if some of the part of your application is having a heavy traffic load, you can what you can do is like you can scale that part individually, because that is not the a monolithic, that is basically a micro front end. So that is the power of micro front end, as it is individually deployed, so you can individually scale it. So next thing is that flexibility. So as we already talked about the platform agnosticism, like choose the best technology for each specific task, enabling innovation and improve performance. So for example, you have a scenario where there are, for example, multiple five features is there in your application, and you see that one of the feature could better perform in Angular, for example, and one better performs in React, one better performs in other framework, for example. So you can leverage this power of micro content and go individual in individual frameworks, and then again you can combine. We will furthermore see this how we can do that, but yeah, that is the power of micro content. And again, we are getting the another thing, that is faster releases. So when a big application will be divided into small applications and each having their own dedicated team, so it means they will be developing their own part and managing their own part. So it will be very fast to release cycles or release code for their part in their production level. So that is also one of the advantages, I would say, or pros of the micro frontends that we can utilize. But it doesn't come only with the pros. You have also the cons as well, because when you are working with just one application, you only think for one application, one deployment, one development, one team. So everything is just one. But when you go to small parts, so obviously that is not like just simple. uh, it's a mess actually. So I would say, for example, if there is a page and you break the page into 10 like chunks, I would say, or 10 applications, then obviously you have to manage all 10. It means it's not a one deployment. It means that it's not one development. It means that there will be 10 deployments, 10 development, 10 testings. So yeah, so it comes with the complexity as well, and also with the integration issues as well. Ensuring seamless interaction between various microfrontends can pose challenges requiring effective solutions. So yeah, so that is the case. Like when you break things, just like microservices is not an easy thing. Like that is a buzzword, like we use microservices, but managing a microservices is not just a piece of cake. When you come to that kind of architecture, obviously you have to deal with many things. So the same is the scenario with the micro functions as well. Okay, so exploring micro front-end success stories. So I was telling about some companies that are using micro front-ends architecture for their front-end applications. So we have Spotify on the on the first number, that uses the modular features of micro front-ends. Like Spotify utilize micro front-ends to enhance user experience across different features like playlists and user profiles, allowing for independent updates and scalability. Then we have Uber as well. Uber enhanced team autonomy. So what happens is that Uber implementation microcontents to improve modularity, enabling team to work autonomously on different aspects of the application, resulting in increased efficiency and faster release. Then we have Zalando. Then we have benefits of microcontents as well. The same thing that we talked about, like scalability, flexibility, and team autonomy. But few of the companies are not mentioned here that I would like to mention personally, and you can do a Google search to know more about that one. That Netflix heavily use micro contents. They also have a case study there where they have blogged their thing in, and they are telling, yeah, this is something powerful that can be utilized on the front end architecture to use on a big scale. Then you have Amazon. Amazon also uses micro frontends architecture on their front end, but not only use the micro frontend architecture, but they also promote that one, because they have some architecture, I would say infrastructure that can support micro frontends, and they also have blogs there like that lets you know how to use micro frontends on their cloud. So let's go to next slide. Yeah. So today, as we are like dealing with the micro front end, so there are some components that I already have told that we are going to work. So basically, we are going to create an application that is having like a group of frameworks, for example, React, Angular, Vue, Svelte. But also there are two things that we are going to use, and one is NX. Maybe some of you have heard about NX before. and also use Redux as well. Why NX and why Redux? So basically NX is not a part of micro frontend. Redux is not a part of micro frontend. What happens is that when you obviously when you will be working on micro frontends, then you will be having application for or code repository for each of them individually. But here I'm utilizing monorepo to like scale or to have all of the projects under one main project using the monorepo power. So basically we have monorepo versus polyrepo. That is a different topic, but let me just give a small instance on that one. Monorepo basically means that you have just one GitHub repo and there are multiple projects under that repo, and you can manage that repo under just one GitHub repository. Who uses that? Many companies use that. Google uses that. Facebook uses that. Many other big companies uses that kind of uh, Git, GitHub I would say convention monorepo. So there is poly repo as well. So for example, what you can do is you can have a application for have a GitHub repo for frontend A, GitHub repo for frontend B, separate GitHub repo for frontend B. That is like also a good thing because that is like individual GitHub repo and you can manage individually. But I think it's for a smaller scale, we have monorepo architecture like monorepo GitHub convention that we can use to just have all of the applications into just one project. So utilizing NX for managing monorepo allows for efficient integration of micro frontends. Each application can communicate and share state using Redux as a centralized store, ensuring consistency across different technologies. So yeah, as I told before, we are going to use NX for monorepo to manage our micro frontends into just one big project. Then on the other hand, we have a Redux. So what will happen is that why we are using Redux. So basically, when if you have worked on the microservices architecture, so let's say you have a small applications, they communicate with each other. And on the backend side, what they use it like there's some communication tool, like for example, RabbitMQ or Kafka, PubSub. So on the front end as well, when you break a big application into small like applications, you also need some tool to like use to communicate them with each other. So that is the part that Redux is going to play today. Beside Redux, you also have some other strategies as well. You can utilize DOM events to do this thing, and you can utilize a custom PubSub. But most preferable way in the industry is to use a shared store between those applications, and we are using Redux for that purpose today. So integration workflow steps are like this. We have a host application that is going to be remote React that loads remote application. So on the remote application side, we will be having Angular, Svelte, Vue, and we have a shared Redux store that is used to do the communication between those frameworks together. Yeah, but before diving into the code, actually, I would like to also present the micro frontends challenges. So again, when you work on the micro frontends, so there is a major thing that needs to be carefully handled. So that is like, for example, in Angular, if you are using, for example, some UI library and you are using the same library in, for example, in the React or in the Svelte, so those versions need to be like very carefully handled because again, I said that nothing comes in just pros. Everything has cons as well. So this is one of the cons. You have to be very careful. So then again, I also told about the deployment complexity as well. So obviously, it's not just if you are going to break the one application into many applications, it will not going to be just one deployment and one development. Obviously, you will have to like deploy each of the component individually and manage each of the component with their own team, dedicated team. Then you have performance overhead as well. So let's say, for example, if application A is calling the endpoint from the backend to fetch user information, then maybe application B is also doing the same thing. So maybe there is some same logic that is hitting the backend with the same thing. So it is also increasing the network complexity as well, and also increasing the load on the backend as well. So you also have to like use the shared store for that one to manage that and to fix that. So here are some effective strategies for the micro frontends. So you have a standardization of tech stack. So basically today we are going to show various framework example. Like as I already told, we have various framework today, and we are going to group together just to show the power of micro content. But many big companies are not doing that. You like already will have a question in your mind like why Angular and like create a Golaganda, I would say, or create a mess like combining all different applications into one. You can also use React as well. You can also use Angular and have micro frontends in Angular as well. For example, you can have 5 React applications together and combine just into one big React application. Similarly, you can do with the Angular as well. But today's example is like various frameworks together just to like have a good knowledge and just to like I would say just to like demo the power of micro frontends. So then you have importance of automated testing. Yeah, for example, if you are working with the micro frontends, and obviously each of your application should be independently deployed, developed, tested, and managed. So that is the thing that is like kind of a like proper way. Like you develop it independently, you deploy it independently, and you test it independently. That also like creates I would say less complexity in our working cycle because obviously each small part will be deployed and tested and developed independently. So it is going to take less time as compared to like testing the whole application again, whole big application again. So adopting incrementally, yeah, that's the thing as well. So when you work with the micro frontend, just like microservices architecture, let's say if you have a monolithic application from day to day, you cannot like break the whole application into just one or into just multiple components. You will go step by step. So for example, if you think that you have more than 100 members in your company for the front end, and your 100 members are using the same front end application, so what you can do, you can go step by step to decompose that application into multiple and then like divide the teams. So also there is a learning curve as well. So like many people don't know about micro frontends. So they are you need to also like make sure your team knows and your team is educated about that. Yeah, the promising future of micro frontends. So as we already know that we already have defined all of the pros and cons of the micro frontends. So you know that micro frontends are going to rise in the future. Why? Because many of you have already been working with the iframes as well. How many of you have already have worked with the iframes? Yeah, so it seems like everyone has have worked already with the iframe. So the thing is that iframe is the old way of managing micro frontends. Do you know about that? Did you ever know about that? No, right? So that is the core. That is the architecture, like technology, like I would say terms that we can use micro frontends for that one. Iframe were micro frontends, but we didn't know about that. Have you ever used window, doors, post message, or something used? So that is the part of the micro frontend as well for iframes. But when we are using iframes, we were doing the same thing. We were having multiple applications. We were not redeveloping that application for this one, but we were like combining that using the iframe and then trying to communicate through the DOM window. So that is the modern thing that we are doing now with the micro frontends. Now we have modern architecture for that one. So let's say if you are using some application on Webpack or Vite or RSpec, whatever bundler you are using, so all of the bundlers provides this new modern feature that is called module federation. Module federation lets you use micro frontends and define micro frontends and then combine and everything group together into a proper way without dealing with complexity of the iframes and everything. So that is, I think, enough of I think theory is there. So let's go here in our code example and let's try to understand. So before diving into the code, let me just run the application so we can demo it. Yeah, so looks like we have something very good coming up here. So let's talk about that one as well. So first of all, let me show you one thing. So when I was talking about when I was talking about the architecture of micro frontend, and I was talking about how we are going to manage that one. So you can see a picture here. So you can see that we have micro frontend A, micro frontend B, micro frontend C, and each of them is built and test individually, and then it is going into the production. Like team A will be developing micro frontend A and building and testing micro frontend A, and then team B is building micro frontend B, team C is building micro frontend C. So every of the micro frontend is going into the production individually, and then all of these are combining together um, into our main shell application. So what happens is that you will be having a shell application, and inside the shell application, you will be having like multiple remote applications. The shell application will always be called your host, and then on the host, you will always be loading the remote applications. And each of the application will be like deployed individually, just like you can see that in my code here. You can see that I have run 4 of the terminals. That means that I am running 4 of the applications individually. The application 1 is running on 4202. The application 2 is running on to 4203. And the third application, I have some issue right now. So I guess it is not working, but let's see how we can deal with this one. If we could, otherwise I have a recorded video as well. We can use that one to demo. So let's see the demo first, I think, from the video. Okay, so here is the video. You can see that because you can see that we have an overall dashboard. In the dashboard, we have a React application. So in the React application, you can see that we have a product app, which is coming from the Svelte application. And then on the other side, we have a cart app that is basically the Angular application. And on the below, then we have a Vue application. So you can see the power of micro frontends. It could easily let you combine different application stack into one. I think before that, it was very hard to do that thing because obviously you will be using iframe, and iframe couldn't give you this much of clean result. Like on a single page you are cleaning in a clean way, you are getting Svelte application, you are getting cart application from Angular, then you are getting a Vue application um, from the budget application from the Vue. So all of them are combined together using a shared store. And you can see that when I'm doing some changes in the Svelte application, it is equally reflecting in the Angular application and in the Vue application. So how? Because we are using Redux to communicate, like make them communicate with each other. So Redux is being used here as a part of communication. So when I'm doing some Redux update from one application, it is equally updating into the other.